Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM20 story. The head coach with me, Daniel. It's season 7, episode 6, and we're back slightly earlier than planned today, as you can see, and I'm sure you can understand the reason. We've got a Premier League team in the FA Cup third round, a big home tie, a chance to cause a shock. Yes, we're missing a couple of stars, but that's not going to deter us. West Ham have got an injury list as well. As you can see, we're flying in the league. We're up at the top with Ipswich. We seem to be in a league of our own, us two, but of course we've got some tough games coming up, so I don't want to get too excited just yet. We've got the likes of Wimbledon who are in third coming up in the coming games, and a couple of other sides up near the top as well. There's plenty of other ones as we go along too, so we're not going to get too excited about that just yet. But for now, we're focused on Salford, the FA Cup, and we've of course got a magical tie. It's my favourite competition. I've made no mistake about that in the last couple of years, so let's see if we can go and do the job. But of course, before we do that, we've got to go and have a look at the start of the transfer window, see if there's any news so far. We'll also go and have a look, of course, at the schedule to see what we've been doing recently in the league. You can see our last couple of results up in the corner there. And we'll also try and work out why we're hemorrhaging so much money. 3.5 million we've lost this year. And I don't know if it's to do with renting the Man City stadium, but look at the income. The income is tiny most months. We're talking 200,000. And that's for a club, I guess this year maybe 300. But that's when we've got a lower wage bill than last year. And I know that won't affect that side. But we've also got decent attendances, a little bit of income coming in. And last year it was quite small. I mean, despite the fact we were in the Championship and we got a little bit of TV revenue a couple of months, the rest of them have all been quite quiet. This year again has followed suit. The expenditure is massive though. Where is that expenditure going? It can't all be wages. No, the player wages is only 300 grand. I mean, that's not great. It's still nearly our whole turnover, but I'm not sure where the rest of it's going. It just seems to be lots of little things adding up along the way. Have we got any loans there? Dividends, none going out to the board. Money to the directors is minimal. So it seems to be all in-house things. Tax is a big one. Loyalty bonuses, scouting costs, non-football costs, which again I'm not in control of. I don't do anything off the pitch and that seems to be costing us a lot. Other, which isn't particularly helpful, that's a big sum as well. But otherwise I'm not quite sure where it's going. Just seems to be lots of little things adding up along the way. But either way, if you are enjoying the series and looking forward to today's episode, please do put a thumbs up on the video. It really does make such a difference and I do greatly appreciate it. If you haven't already, subscribe for daily FM20 content from both long-term stories. We'll also have a new schedule starting next week. Not really much of a change. So for 6 days of the week, Monday to Saturday, we'll have our usual rotation of the two stories. And then on Sunday, we've got a couple of other series to go. So some weeks we'll have a fantasy draft tie, other collaborators coming onto the channel. And then I'll also be starting a real football series for the first time on this channel. That's going to be related to football stadiums as I'm attempting to do the 92. Obviously a bit of a spanner in the works with the current lockdown. But aside from that, we will talk about the ones we've been to already. And again, I've got a guest and a mate coming on for that too. So I hope you're looking forward to all that. Please subscribe if you want to see it. And I can't thank you enough for your continued support. It really does mean a lot. So having started the episode by not finding out or solving the problems financially, let's go and have a look at the start of the transfer window. And we can see there's one player potentially going out. He's just waiting for a work permit. £105,000. Nicky Devlin off to Australia. He is a good right back. He's 32 now though. He's third choice behind Kyle John as well. So I've got no problem with him leaving whatsoever. Take the money while we can. He's been a backup player this year but not even played a league game at any point. So a really decent pro. We're sorry to see him go but it has to be done. We need to make those little bits of money where possible. Interestingly, our director of football's been rejecting offers for Connor Ogilvie. I'm not quite sure why, because he's on the transfer list. He wants to go. He's desperate to move on. He's on the loan list as well for some reason. Who's he wanted by? Grimsby want him. So I'm not quite sure why that's being rejected. Grimsby in League One as well. I'm sure he would have gone. It's a decent loan offer they've offered. A few in America that have offered good deals too. I really don't know what's going on there. So hopefully he accepts that. We can't really spend too much because of financial fair play. We're of course relying on Chris Casper to make the deals, and he's not the best director of football in the world. Fairly professional, adaptable, but he doesn't seem to be that motivated, and that reflects he doesn't seem to be getting deals done. There seems to be a problem with the board because they've not offered him a new deal either. So there's a little bit of unrest there. But we're going to ignore that because we're top of League One. So let's focus on the bit we're in control of. We're through to the third round of the northern section edition of the Leasing.com trophy, just a few steps away from Wembley now. We've got another League One side in Fleetwood, they're down in 23rd at the moment. And then we've got West Ham today, a big Premier League team, up in 11th place in that league. I can see they've got Calvin Phillips, the Leeds youngster, Saïd Kolasinac, Issa Diop still there, Eden Hazard at 34. They have got some cracking players. They've still got a lot of their old squad, Jetty there, Anderson's there, Callum Chambers and Rudiger both at the club, and Danny Carvajal. They seem to be going for the old Bolton approach, just buying legends in their 30s. It's the Sam Allardyce routine. JJ Okocha, Stelios Giannakopoulos, Jared Borghetti, Campo Hierro. They had loads there. They were a great side to watch. And I know Sam Allardyce got a reputation for his football, but that team was unbelievable. Go back and watch some of it. This team looks pretty similar. Most of the players in their 30s now, so it's going to be a really tough test for us. They're in the Europa League. They're doing quite well across the board. How have they got on in those competitions? So they're through to the Europa League knockout rounds. Why they've got the second knockout before the first, I don't know. That's a little bit bizarre, but we'll ignore that for now. Otherwise, Carabao Cup, they went out to Barnsley, so they have been shocked already once this season. So let's go and see if we can make it too. We'll of course look at the form going into that. So you were last with me a couple of months ago. We didn't play a game in the last episode at the end of November, but of course we did come back to have a look at our results because we were getting our job offer from Ireland, of course. That's our first fixture coming up in March. They're not easy ones, but they'll be later on this season. But for now, since that last episode, we played Gillingham at home in the FA Cup, and this is where Grant came to the picture. George Grant, who has been a bitter disappointment all season, then just turned up with 4 goals. 4 goals in a game, it was remarkable. Albeit the third was a penalty, which was to get his hat-trick, but a wonderful performance from him. In the next game at home to Wigan, we drew 0-0. I forgot to change my keeper back, so Keith Milson played a league game, but otherwise it was really disappointing. Then a 3-0 win in the Leasing.com trophy. Randell Smith and Teller helping out there. A late red card, but it didn't change the picture of the game. Then another 0-0 in the league at Wickham. Really starting to struggle for goals a bit there, but still defensively solid. That's the one carrot we can take from it. And then 3 wins in a row over Christmas. 2-1 away at Doncaster. Lucas Smith with a brilliant individual goal in the 93rd minute. He spared our blushes against the 10-men team. We played the whole second half against them and just couldn't get the winner, but Smith saved the day at the end. And in 2-2-0 wins, Rochdale at home, Zach Brown and Paul Beresford, who's suspended today. He got sent off the next time. We went to a strikerless system at half-time. We went 4-5-0, so we just took the striker out and played the same as we would normally. Labala and Lucas Smith off the 2 wings, both on the break, getting brilliant goals in the second half, and we somehow won it with 10. It's a real big step in our push for promotion. So I'm really pleased with how things have been going. We of course come into this West Ham game today without 2 of our best youngsters. Archie Dixon getting an injury again. It just seems to be constant with him. They're West Ham are favourites. We're in excellent form though. There's just a little bit of a bizarre feeling about this one. I'm not quite sure what to expect. Sid Nelson's going to come in at centre half. He's featuring in something else that's going to start soon. So on our podcast channel, we're going to do a live network season. We've had a lot of support with Tranmere there, so I'm going to manage them. And then Wickham are going to be managed by the other 2 co-hosts, Craig and Charlie. And we're just going to play through a season and see who does best. 2 similarly ranked teams, similar squads. I'm really intrigued to see how that goes. And it's something I've never done before, so make sure you pop over and check it out. I'll let you know, of course, once it's going live. But let's go and sort out our squad for today. Ben Close was tired last time out. He comes back in. George Grant's not, because Labala did really well. Porter's going to come back in at right back. Nelson obviously came in at centre half. In central midfield, Charlesworth will come in. Then onto the bench go Randell and George Grant. We probably could do with another defender on there somewhere. So maybe Key will come out. And we'll bring in Kyle John, who can play right back or right wing. That makes our substitutes bench a little more diverse. But otherwise, I'm going to go with the same 11. I'm a little worried about Lucas Smith up front. He's getting lots of transfer offers from bigger clubs, and I'm not sure if that will terminate the loan. I presume it will. He's our best player at the club. He's been a superstar all year. I'm really worried if he leaves, to be honest. But let's go and look at the lineup for today. Jacob Horgaard's in goal. We've got Porter and Field, the fullbacks, with Nelson joining Sykes at centre half. Ben Close in the holding role. Charlesworth, the weak link, coming in alongside Williams, and then Teller and Labala out on the wings with Lucas Smith on his own up front. So that's the 11. We've got some game changers on the bench. Zach Brown and Connor Chaplin attacking players, of course, but we're a little bit light in midfield at the moment, so I'm hoping we won't have to rely on them. But in we go to this game against West Ham, a massive chance to cause a shock in the FA Cup. Can we do it in my favourite competition, or will they just prove to be too strong? 4-2-3-1, and I missed another big name for West Ham. It's Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain in the middle. They've all got to be pushing 30, so maybe late in the game we can cause some trouble. We're going to ask the lads to pick up where they left off. 3 wins on the bounce, 2 clean sheets on the bounce. Most of these players played every game this season. Apologies as I suddenly turned into a robot there. But in we go to the first half. Richie Barker's agreed with us, so let's go and do the tunnel interview, and fingers crossed we can put on a good performance. Well, 13 minutes gone, we're back for the first highlight. West Ham coming down the left, into the box, it's in, but it's offside. I saw the flag early that time. Well, not the flag, but the notice about it. So Horgaard's blush is spared as he palmed that one in, sort of. But it's still 0-0 with 15 gone. Neither side had a shot on target yet. We can't complain. We're looking pretty good, so hopefully we can hang on. Do what we did to Arsenal, but just hang on a couple of minutes more. A replay at the London Stadium would be amazing. I'm sure that'd sort out some of the financial troubles. Half time, no further highlights. This is exactly what we wanted. We wanted to frustrate West Ham. We wanted to nullify their threat. We're going to encourage the lads, ask them to continue working hard. Doesn't seem to have gone down too well, but either way, it's still 0-0 and that's all that matters. So let's crack into the second half as we pick up the ball. Ben Close putting it wide to Labala. On the left, this would be a smash and grab. Kolasinac clears the ball though, and it falls for the striker who's been dangerous all day. Oh, Nelson's getting sent off. Why now? We've not had a red card all season. Now we've got 2 in 2 games, both for centre-halves. This is ridiculous. I mean, the tactic is to stay on our feet, not to get stuck in, not to press into challenges. The red card seems to be a little bit soft, but we are now going to have to think on our feet. So we're going to do the same as we did in the last game. Teller's going to be replaced. Smith's going to go out to the right wing. At centre-half, we're going to have our man. Who's it going to be? Oh, we haven't got a centre-half on the bench. Oh, what a dipstick. I mean, what can we do now? It's going to have to be Charlesworth, I think. He can't really play there, but I don't have anyone else. This is the big problem. Last time we bought on Sid Nelson and it all worked out. So can either of the fullbacks play at centre-half? Greg Lee can't. Tom Field, he can't. Robbie Porter, he can't really either. So it's going to have to be Charlesworth. Charlesworth will go in at centre-half for Teller. In central midfield, we haven't really got a good central midfielder either. I'm going to bring on George Grant there. I tell you why, I think that one's going to suit him better. So he's going to be the advanced playmaker on attack. We're going to drop to cautious. This is going to backfire because we haven't got any defenders. But either way, we're going to time waste all the time. What else can we do? I don't think there's much we did there. The next screen, we can slow the pace down in possession. We can also, out of possession, just drop our line back to standard. But otherwise, I'm not going to do too much. I think we're happy with that. We're going to get beat now, unfortunately. We're not going to be able to hang on. But either way, it's really disappointing. Why suddenly 2 red cards in 2 games? Just seems very bizarre timing. We've got to the hour mark now. Labala's struggling match rating wise, but to be honest, we're not seeing any highlights. It's a really good sign. I'm going to put George Grant over to the left wing. Labala's going to be replaced. Charlie Savage will come on for him. He likes to be a central midfielder on attack. So I tell you what, we're just going to change to that for now. Let's go back to that. We'll get into the last 15 minutes and hope we can hold on. But things are looking really good. There's no highlights. How is this happening? West Ham should be causing all sorts of trouble. And I say that we're back for a highlight. 8 minutes to go. It's going to be the same again, isn't it? Charlesworth, good header, lad. You're doing really well back there. But it's into Hazard. He's offside as well. Disallowed it. Didn't look off. But we will not complain. Fantastic news with 7 to go. We're still hanging on for 0-0 as it stands. Let's see if we can nick this replay. Is there anyone else we can bring off? Lucas Smith looking tired. So I'll tell you what, I think we can bring on either Kyle John or Zach Brown. Kyle John's the better defensive mind. Zach Brown gives us a threat on the break. So do you know what? Let's go for Zach Brown. We have to give ourselves a chance here. Zach Brown comes on as the right winger on attack. 5 minutes plus stoppage time to go. Let's just see if we can hang on here. 4 minutes and we will get a brilliant replay. 40 minutes we've played with 10 men and we've done it. What a fantastic performance. I'm sorry to everyone for the fact that that was a horrendous game to watch. No real action at all, but unbelievable effort from the boys. 40 minutes with 10 against a Premier League side, a mid-table side in the Premier League at that. And we're going to tell the lads we really appreciate that. Yes, it's an extra fixture, not something we were looking for, but that replay could be on TV and we're definitely going to make some money out of it. So we are delighted with that. We hold West Ham to a draw despite being down to 10 men. Nelson's banned, but Beresford will be back, of course. Salford v Mansfield's been rearranged as a result, and we'll deal with a post-match press conference in a minute. That's not our most important news at the time, but I want to go and look at it on camera today as I want to see if they've noted the fact that we've held a Premier League side with 10 men. But firstly, let's go and look at the finances. Has it made a difference? Not really, I think it's a bit too soon. So actually, we'll do the press conference and skip through to tomorrow. So we've given ourselves a chance. We were expected to lose. We're really pleased with that. West Ham are, of course, favourites for the replay. Another clean sheet. Not even mention the fact we had 10 men for half a game. That's really harsh in the media. Were there any League One fixtures while we were playing the FA Cup? Doesn't look like it. There's a few in midweek. So let's just skip ahead a day, see what the finances have done, and then of course we'll try and wrap up the episode. Right, we're back the next day and some completely off-topic good news. We've got a youngster, John Bell, and this is relating to Ireland. He's a young right-back who's got unbelievable potential, and he has decided to commit to Ireland. We had a few discussions with him because he was thinking about going over to England, so I'm really pleased he's committed. We've solved one of our defensive problems for them. Obviously, if you're not aware of those, go back to the last episode to check it out. But we're going to skip through to 7 o'clock, just so we can see the 4th round FA Cup draw. I'm interested to see who we would have got in theory. I'd imagine we will lose the West Ham replay, but let's go and see who we would have got for fun. Right, FA Cup 4th round draw. Because we're not going to be in it, I'm not going to go through the whole lot, so let's just see who we get. Salford away to Ipswich of League One. So a top of the table League One clash if we get through against West Ham. That's unlikely, of course, but it is a winnable tie if we get through. Look at the top there. If Plymouth get past United, it could be National League v League Two. There's some real crackers in there. It should keep some of the lower league sides in there, but either way, we're excited about that. West Ham's replay is going to be the big one, of course. I'm not going to show it on camera because we will lose away from home. I've got almost no doubt about that. And then we'll be back as usual, probably towards the start of February. We might even show the Ipswich game. Maybe we'll skip ahead a bit more. There's some big games like Wigan coming up in February. The reunion with Scunthorpe. Again, can we get one over on them this time? But either way, things looking pretty good for now. Let's finish off by seeing how the finances look. They haven't changed. They have no effect, that home game against West Ham. We haven't even had much of an increase in our income. I'm a little bit concerned about that. That can't be right. Surely it was a sellout or near that. It was it? Let's have a look. I'm on the wrong fixture. It was a sellout. That seems bizarre. So we'll report back a bit more on that next time, see how we're getting on. We'll have one more episode from Salford around the middle of February here before we do head back for our first game with the Republic of Ireland. It's big international friendlies. We'll only show one of them because of course they are just friendlies at the end of the day, but show you the first squad, how we compiled it, how we fixed some of the problems we highlighted last time out. And of course I hope you'll come and join me for those episodes too. I really will need your support with them. But if you did enjoy this episode and that really hard fought draw against Premier League West Ham, please do put a thumbs up on the video. It makes such a difference to how it performs and I really can't thank you enough for it. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. We'll have 2 long-term stories rotating each day. As we mentioned, from next week that'll be Monday to Saturday, and then on Sunday we'll have our 2 new concept ideas. So we'll also have some more fantasy draft ties as we get collaborators, and we'll have our real football series talking about stadiums. So keep an eye out for your club as well and have a look at that. Give us your opinions if you've been to any of the grounds too. That will start next Sunday, which is the first one in April. Of course, next episode we'll also have a review of Chris Casper's January transfer window too. I'm still tempted to come back for deadline day. That will be an interesting one to say the least. Though last time he disappointed us with no activity whatsoever really, by loaning that left back we've barely used. So let me know in the comments what you think he will do. Hopefully a centre half, as mine will keep getting sent off. But hopefully Nick Devlin will be on the way out. We'll also be able to get rid of Ogilvie. Our director of football seems to be working hard to not make that happen. And we've still got 4 left backs that we can only use one of. So it doesn't seem the most sensible approach from him, but we'll see if he can do some magic next time. Does anyone think we will beat West Ham in the replay? Let me know, but I think it's almost impossible. Finally, I'm part of a podcast that does matchday vlogs and interviews, and you can see the link to the matchday vlogs playlist in the eye above. We'll also be starting our network career from FM20 soon, so of course make sure you go and check that one out. I'm really looking forward to it, testing my wits, going head to head over a season. It's going to be really great fun to make. We've already done a transfer window and we've had such a good time. But a massive thanks for watching this one and your continued support with the series. Stay safe in the lockdown, look after yourselves, and I'll see you next time for more FM20 content.